All right, fans of music, welcome back. It's Harmless Dave here, the real music observer, just doing what I do, observing real music in real time for real people, just like you right there, just like me right here. A little bit more relaxed here on the computer, just hanging out, checking out. Fleetwood Mac's got a gig tonight, Chicago. Um, Please send me the links tomorrow for the reviews. I'm very much looking forward to that. Fleetwood Mac has become, I think, tone deaf to a certain degree with their fan base. Now, tone deaf in the real sense of the word, kind of what's going on in the world of Huey Lewis right now. He literally cannot hear tones and scales, and things sound like a cacophony of noise for the guy, and we wish him well. Meniere's disease is a tough one because it just there's no known cure, and the cause is really hard to determine. But in the case of Fleetwood Mac, the cause of their political tone deafness is quite clear. One member pretty much usurped the authority and said, "I'm in charge," even though publicly she said that she's not the boss. And I think her and Mick Fleetwood more or less call the shots in the group. It's being run as if Lindsey Buckingham doesn't exist. Here's a guy who just had open heart surgery. It's full steam ahead. This Rolling Stone article yesterday that I read, barely a mention of Lindsey Buckingham, only to say that she joined his band and basically jumped on his coattails and then sort of catapulted over him, which to some degree I'm not going to argue with that. Stevie was smart in the sense that she marketed herself in a way that appealed especially to women and to some guys too, but mostly to women. And this whole mystical, magical, nice goddess witch thing that she has been able to use as her persona for many years is really sticks. I mean, on Halloween, you had people going to the show dressed like Stevie Nicks. They weren't dressed like Christine McVie. Some of them could have dressed like Mick Fleetwood, and that would have been entertaining to me. Maybe got some of them big, bulging eyeball glasses, and that would have been funny. But the tone deafness that I'm not, seeing really addressed here continues, and it snowballs. And the guy who had open heart surgery, who wanted to be on the tour, who was kicked out of the band, wouldn't that have been a great story to have him, have this issue but then rejoin the band somewhere down the line? Maybe this all happened for a reason, because maybe if this had happened while Lindsey was on the road, who knows? He may not have survived. He may not still be here. So maybe there's kind of like a silver lining to some of this stuff. But when you think of their behavior, they're full steam ahead. Lindsey Who, Neil Finn, Mike Campbell, dirty knobs, restrooms. I mean, some of the fans are just outraged at some of this extracurricular stuff, which really is kind of certain bands, if you're going to go see Skid Row or Rat, you kind of know that this kind of stuff is, normal. But Fleetwood Mac, the clientele is a little bit different. And a lot of folks are maybe taking issue with the fact that you're kind of dropping the quality of, just the image of the group. You're kind of dropping that down a few notches. And I just think it, again, shows a bit of a tone deafness toward the fan base, who not only supports Lindsey, but also supports kind of like the image of Fleetwood Mac. Over the years, they were seen as a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more highbrow in the sense of how they create music, how they perform it, what they look like on stage, and honestly, how they handle themselves off stage as well. I mean, it's part of who you are when you're a musician. You have to be able to handle yourself in a certain way, both on and off stage. So I'm a little bit amazed, but then again, In hindsight, maybe it's just making more out of this than I should, but a lot of people have continued to contact me and say, "Can you believe that they're doing this, this, and this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can, because it's really at the end of the day about money. It's about money. It's not about being in a family, because they were a family at one point and they were actually friends. Members would go over and see Lindsey and vice versa, and before all this went down, there were relationships that have now been dissolved. So it's more than just a tone deafness. It's just, as Lindsey's wife has said, it's a ghosting. It's, ooh, I don't see him anymore. He's just a ghost. And that's really tragic. We'll see how they do tonight in Chicago. I will certainly comment on their performance once those reviews come in, and I will try to get some footage that I can watch as well. All right, done with this one. Be back soon.